Uh, Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Arcane Table. My name is Eric, and I'm joined with some really good friends. If you've been watching the Arcane Campaign, no introduction is needed, but we're going to go around the table anyway. I'm going to start with this guy over here, and we'll work around the table. Trevor?
Trevor Phillip, playing Alindawn Oakenshade. But yeah, what do we want?
Yeah, we do that.
Just start with that?
That's good.
Let's start
Adam?
with that.
Whoa, you skipped around the table then.
I did. I'm going the opposite direction.
Oh. I'm Adam Prince. I play Thadius Wiltleaf. He is a skirmisher rogue.
Yes, homebrew.
Homebrew, yeah. But we like to play with things and have fun, so.
Absolutely, yeah. D&D is a game about fun, so, have fun. Rhys?
Yeah, so I am Rhys Yurach, and I'm playing Zeema Bluebrooke.
And playing her wonderfully.
I mean, if you say so.
It's pretty good. All those damn nat 20s.
Oh, you mean that way? Okay.
Yes. But this is the group. It's the four of us, enjoying each other's time and company, having a lot of fun with D&D. Once again, I thought it was important to talk about the game. It's been 4 chapters, and including 0 sessions, so 5 chapters in total. And it's nice to kind of recap and just kind of, get a feel for where we're at with the characters in the story, and to have it all kind of in one place. So I'm just going to open the table. Let's talk about the characters, and then maybe we'll move it to plot and story, and then we'll kind of finish it off. Guys, character-wise, what's going on? What do we like?
Enjoying the fact that we're kind of making it through without like a heavy fighter type.
Yeah.
It's kind of wondering when we first started characters whether we'd have enough clout in combat, but between your DPS and my healing and your damage output too, a control basically. You guys are good controllers.
Yeah.
And it helps.
Yeah. Without a doubt, everything that you guys are throwing at the baddies. I wouldn't say I'm having trouble, getting through that armament or getting through the AC, but I really don't have that 1-2 combo, to kind of offset you guys right now. If it's not for, like you said, all the damage or all the really cool, spells you guys are throwing my way, or just those, temporary hit points.
It's the only thing keeping us on the field, man.
but yeah, that's great. You want a well-balanced party, and when you've only got 3 players to do so, with not a lot of magic to assist, a magic outside of what the characters bring, it can be tricky. Yeah.
For sure. And like Thaddeus, I designed him to be more kind of mobile, so he's kind of like a guerrilla warfare style character, which I figured would go good with a pair of casters.
Yeah.
Because most of the times when you're playing a mundane character, the hardest thing is to kind of get in and out between spells, deal with other casters. So I wanted someone who could move around the field, help everybody else out, and then just kind of like, when the damage needs to be pumped out, it can be pumped out.
Yeah, that disengage, that hide, that whatever. That DMs love that.
Running distractions, cover fire.
The fact that you have that ring that allows you to wild shape or shape into animals.
Yeah.
That was a cool little twist. I think you've been using that very well as well.
Yeah, I figured it would add flavor to a mundane character too. He doesn't have any magic on his own, but the world obviously has some magic to it.
Yes.
People should have access to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and that's just it. I don't like throwing a lot of magic items into the world. Like we were talking about this earlier. Like if everybody has a +1 sword, it kind of takes away from the value of a +1 sword because everybody has it. What blacksmith or what merchant is going to want to buy another +1 sword if he's not going to offer you 5 gold for it? And then then what's the point? Everybody's got it.
yeah.
Rhys, Zeema, go.
Goodness, where does one begin? Well, yeah, my idea with her was being more of like a flexible controller type, in which not like hard into aggression, but can definitely lean that way once she's got a bit of something in her court.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I love the fact that you're playing, once again, like a vulnerable character. I think all of you guys have layers to your characters right now, but anybody that's been watching the Arcane Campaign from 0 to current, I'm really leaning into the Zeema angle. It's really the central plot or the central storyline of what's going on. And in this most recent episode, or this most recent chapter, we've had something very traumatic happen to Zeema's character. Do you I got a little flippant over it, and I tend to do that. And some of the most touching moments I've had at the table has been between Rhys and I. What was it when we were doing the 24? And I welled up, and it was a really good moment at the table. Yeah, what's going through Zeema's mind with what just happened with her and her deceased mother?
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, a little bars caution.
Everybody's watching the Arcane Campaign. This is coming out after this, so
Okay.
yeah. If you haven't seen it by now, a spoiler alert: the Titanic it sinks at the end of the movie. Yeah, yeah. Move over, Jack, or move over, Rose. Okay, go. What's Zeema's thoughts, or what's like on everything that's going on with her brother who's missing and her mother who's deceased?
Well, with her now missing, her home, and alongside her home, her mother, probably the person that she's had the strongest connection with throughout her life. It is very devastating. It was the person that she, had a very unique connection with.
Absolutely, yeah.
And now it's that most, if not all, that she truly knows now, and is Bialo, in which losing him would leave her with almost nothing.
Yeah, from being in a tight family unit with two others, and then have that unit taken from you, and to be replaced by two others, quickly, that's got to be a shock to the system.
Yeah.
It's definitely a shift that she would have not predicted at all in her life, but I mean, if it's what happens, so it happens.
Yeah. Speaking about not predicting, what's with all these damn nat 20s?
That's just luck of the draw.
There's something about this table. There really is.
I've rolled once before.
It's not cursed.
It's not impossible.
It's blessed.
Now
It's
that
a
you
good
mention
table.
it,
Take it.
I never rolled a single one the entire time we were playing this
I
chapter.
did, yeah.
Yeah, I've rolled a couple once.
I've rolled a couple as well. Especially in the third chapter.
Yeah. But the bias, like the amount of 20s rolled at this table, and of course, if you're watching, I trust my players to improv them, which allows for those amazing moments, whether it's, something emotional or something brutal.
Excuse me.
Let's go up or down.
What's with this table and sneezes?
It's light.
Exactly. Oh, this light, I gotta fix it, gotta work it out. But once again, the nat 20s and just those moments of giving the table or giving the floor to you guys and letting you shine. And me as a DM and you guys as the players, having that trust that you're not going to derail the story or derail the game by coming up with a pink elephant shows up in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Magic, no, but that.
Yeah. Which is why I don't like wild magic. The random tables of it all, I'm not a big fan of it.
It can be a little rough. Wild magic is a great excuse for a DM to kind of play with things. I don't necessarily believe in the chart.
Yeah.
More so than, especially if a player rolls on it, I think the DM should always be in charge of the wild magic.
DMs or Dungeons are not supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be serious.
Yeah.
So no random charts. Not with me anyway.
No, My Little Ponies.
No, not in my game. So quickly, what's one character moment? It might be more difficult to remember from chapter 1, 2, and 3 because we just finished chapter 4. What's a character moment that's not yours that's kind of stuck with you?
I think, Thadius wise, with Alindawn, it was the first time he had to experience the fact that he was healing adversaries.
Yeah.
Vicious adversaries. But even on our last few campaigns, it was definitely during the house scene. Because Thadius was the one that was going to go do the exact same thing that Alindawn did. So it kind of made him think, you are willing to do, those things, dive into the fray of things to
the fire.
Yeah.
he can appreciate the recklessness because it's usually him that has to do it. So for him to not have to be the one to run into a fire, that's...
And I always saw that moment of Zeema standing outside of her hovel with this corpse, burning. and not knowing and knowing that, saying goodbye would happen last night. And as she kind of ushered you out the door, on this adventure, when looking for your brother, I always envisioned that moment of you going headfirst into the fire there, Rhys. Like that Zeema kind of leading the charge. It was just interesting, the mechanics of it, how you ended up, Alindawn, behind the scene and kind of seeing that from a different perspective.
Yeah.
And then, entering before anybody else really had the opportunity. You wouldn't say you made that decision for Zeema, but you took that risk for Zeema. And really a stranger that your character is only known for what, 4 or 5 days at this time?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I was going to say in regards to what I thought in regards to Alindawn was not just his respect for, kind of similar to what you're talking about, but not just his respect for the living, but also his respect for the dead as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elaborate, how so?
Well, just in those events that happened in the burning home, he, despite it being an incredibly dangerous environment, and despite it for many people not being worth the risk or care, you were willing to take your time and go about it in as respectful manner as possible.
Yeah, even when time was an issue because of the fire, you want to get in and out. Like you put your hand over a hot element, the natural instinct is to remove it.
Yeah.
To go in there and to take, like I think I used the word gingerly several times.
Yeah.
Like to use your shield almost like a gurney. And remove what remains you could. And then every time something went wrong, there was that grimace of like, oh no, please just let me get out. Yeah.
And that's where Thadius and Alindawn kind of separated too. Like he was willing to dive into the fire to find someone who was living. But as soon as he got behind Zeema and saw that there was nothing left to save, he was more willing to try and drag Zeema away from the situation.
And once again, like others, I still see you, the three of you, as strangers. Like it takes a while to build friendship. And I get that, but strangers can still be looking out for each other. That happens all the time. Seeing somebody cross the street or, opening the door for somebody, that's still being friendly to a stranger, right?
Yeah.
But I several times I've seen both Thadius and Alindawn, treat Zeema almost as if as a little sister, or in that sisterly role, looking to take the damage or looking to take the hit, or trying to shield her, from her first kill, or shield her from okay, let's move on. Alindawn has this. Let's get you away from this situation, somewhere safe. And that's a cool dynamic, because usually it's like go, fight, and then loot. But that's one of the things I enjoy about the game and enjoy about the people I game with, is that, anybody can throw an encounter at a group. It's just hit point and stat blocks. Yeah. But it's the moments in between where there are no dice being rolled and there's that connection that really is what I want out of my game. Yeah.
I think my standout actually happened on this last one when I was there collecting your mother's remains and felt your presence looking through my eyes at that. And it was like, I was just about tearing up there myself too, because it's like, yeah, my character went in and did it because I've got the healing, I've got the best chance of survival, I've got the...
You're level 5.
That's the strategic side of it.
You're level 5.
I'm level 5, exactly. But at the same time, it's like, that's the character that I'm trying to portray, is that he's selfless. He puts himself before others.
Yeah.
Or puts others before himself. And it's just been working well. And I haven't got into it with my character yet for history background, so I'm not going to give it all away. But
which we're going to be moving into very quickly.
Yeah, there are reasons why he does what he does. And it's just amazing how well it's fitting with both of your characters.
It's like, when I ask for you guys to give me a background, it's not like I don't not read it and not work it into the story. Like I've said several times, everything that's happening is happening for a reason. And I enjoy the long game, and I literally plot things out, so that we can hit those story beats and get to the core of the message, that I'm trying to write into the story. That's excellent. And then even with Rhys and I, we talked about Zeema leveling. about how we wanted to kind of perform this new ability. What is it called again?
Gaze of Two Minds.
Exactly. Do you want to quickly explain it to the audience?
How it works is that when Zeema touches a willing humanoid, she can transfer. She can basically, in a sense, move her let her senses into that person and see, hear, and feel and think like their sight, hearing, and thoughts.
Yeah.
And loses senses of her own body in the process.
Yeah, and like we were talking about, I was like, that is super cool. That fits Zeema and all of her psychic abilities to a T. And I'm like, okay, let's extend that. Like, why does it just have to be the memories and the emotional status and the feelings of the living? Why can't it be from an object? And that's what we were kind of touching base on with the house. About the memories that were flooding back, like a vase, with fresh cut flowers, and even though the vase is empty, why shouldn't we be able to, this is fantasy. Why shouldn't we be able to delve into the memories of, of Zelda the cat, or like a family, item that's been passed down from generation to generation. And I'm going to lean into that, but once again, and I think it's amazing, that this body has been, saved, and then of course, we get to the end of it, and Trevor's like, I have speak with the dead.
It was something I was thinking of. It's, she might want some closure, and she might want to speak
I was
with.
gonna say you're a cleric. You can change out your spells every day.
Well, I know.
As long as it's not illusionary or a divination, right?
Well, if they're around to tell me no,
there's
does it
no
matter?
authority on the on the
Yeah.
water.
Yeah.
Besides, you're already in trouble.
They ain't got a navy.
Exactly, yeah. Not that you know of. Yeah, well, but one of my favorite moments is when you guys were in the tunnel system and that tiefling cultist was knocked silly. And so you kind of dragged him to the corner, and then literally you were, trying to extract information there, Adam, and Thadius was like literally waterboarding, torturing this individual.
He's trying whatever he could get his hands on.
And that's just it. When your friend's life is on the line, you need to do what you need to do. I do that 100%. And thankfully, this is fantasy.
Yeah.
But once again, I love the reaction of your guys' characters. I was watching the footage a couple days ago, and Zeema came over and said, what are you doing? Who are you? Questioning, your motives. Even though, the two of you are in the same boat, you're both missing loved ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Thaddeus is more of a a concentrated middle between the both characters. He's got things that kind of fit with both characters. And I had actually done a motivation chart to kind of figure out which direction I would be drawn to each character.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I'd gone with motivations, community, and beliefs.
Okay, yeah.
And I basically figured out who had what strengths and who had what weaknesses. And in doing that, I kind of realized, and especially after we finished the last chapter, it was just kind of I'm in the middle between both of them.
Yeah.
He's learning how to lose family.
Yeah.
That I've lost for years.
Yeah.
He's dealing with his traumas and whatever's motivating him to do that. And I'm being traumatized by learning how to survive.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. Yeah, the synergy of the group is really good.
Yeah.
And once again, something like that, as a DM, you surround yourself with good people, you surround yourself with good players, you dress the table, you set the table, and you let everybody eat their full.
Yeah. We all draw from each character with our own characters in different ways.
Yep.
And that's just it. It's good to have an idea of what your motivation for your character is, but also to see how your handling of a situation affects those other characters and how they want to kind of adjust you because they care too.
And then to have the trust in your teammates or the other players to play off of that.
Yeah.
Because if you throw somebody a bone and they don't catch that bone, well, then I'm going to stop throwing bones, right?
Yeah.
But once again, you guys have wonderful chemistry, and I'm really, really enjoying the ebb and flow of the characters. Yeah. So, future, how do we see things going? Obviously we're leaving home behind, and we've already left home behind, right? So we're kind of off in the wild. like I'll continue fleshing out the world. One of the things I do want to get on the channel is like a world map and start talking about Espna itself. Like the servants. The one true God choice. Talking about the solid and the divides. This half of the world that's like ours. Landlocked, and this other half that literally has movement of continents and islands, and everything is in constant flux and kind of banging into each other. And so all that lore and history will be coming soon. But where do you guys see yourself heading? Trevor, I'll let you lead with this one because you kind of have an idea. You can go into light spoilers.
Light spoilers? Well, yeah, we're going to a monastery that I kind of found on the way before I came into Sea Dakota. And I think you'll learn a little bit more about my character in the next episode or so. Not even so much from your perspective, but I think you're going to want to know some more of who you're dealing with, and it'll start coming out. But
and we'll be touching base on once again the servants, about the 5 servants of the one true God choice.
Yeah, and kind of how my ideologies may fit in with them.
Adam, Rhys, what do you see happening with the 2 of your characters? One, leaving people behind, and 2, leaving your homes behind.
And that's just it. My character's going to be hitting their flux state. They're going to be hitting a point where they're going to be struggling with things like where his friend is. How does he survive outside of his home? He's so familiar with trying to survive in Sea Dakota that now he's going to have to figure out how to survive other places, not realizing that survival is not his only option.
Yeah.
He can just live.
Yeah. And you were saying, like, off camera, between episodes, like, Eric, I really want to search Sea Dakota and find Mateo. It's important to me to speak with Mateo before we leave. And I'm like, okay, I've got something planned for him. We just don't have time. Trust me, it's going to come back.
Yeah. And that's good to know, because, like, it's good to drive story. And for in the situation we were in, it was just better for us to head out anyways.
So there was really no option.
Yeah.
The longer you guys stuck around, the more heat, literally heat, you guys were going to be getting.
Well, yeah. And like, as far as it goes for Thadius, I kind of had like an idea of the path that he was going to follow, but I never do anything rigid with my characters.
Yeah.
So there can always be a deviation based on what happens in the story.
Yeah.
So regardless of what he's planning on doing, his life is already just immediately changed.
However, if you came to me and said, hey, Eric, this needs to happen for my character to grow, what's the answer going to be?
Yeah.
Yeah, the answer is going to be yes, absolutely. It's once again, it's not the Eric show. This is a team game. Like this, we're in this together.
Yeah.
So if there's something important to the Thadius, or if there's something important to Zeema or Alindawn, you tell me. I know you guys have, and then you just have to be patient, and we'll work it in. And then once the spotlight is there, I'll just simply shine it on you yourself.
And I mean, the story's already kind of poking at a lot of Thaddeus's triggers too.
You betcha.
Like, there's a reason he's carrying Seesaw on him.
Yeah. And then yourself, how does Zeema see things kind of in the near and the distant future to Rhys?
Well, the problem with her is that it's something that she doesn't definitively know. What she enjoyed, or at least found convenient about her life before, was that it was simple. It was constant. She knew what was going to happen. Now is a time in which she doesn't have a plan. She needs to, from scratch, set something new straight.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in new places with new people, like hopefully in search of, some level of familiarity. But it's just whether or not she can actually get that grounded for herself.
Absolutely, yeah. Like it's new challenges and new faces and just a new way of living. But one of the things that I think chapter 3 was called Violet Veil. Is that right?
Yep.
And I've used the Violet Veil in past campaigns before, and that is going to come out here shortly. About kind of like the smoke and mirrors. About like the veil being lifted so you can kind of see clearly. And I just have to say that I'm going to have one hell of a surprise for you guys here shortly.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I was gonna say Thadius might not know what's going on, but he Adam's got some suspicions.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know, but yeah, we'll see how it is. And like once, no spoiler alerts, but like once again, I think, like I said, everything you guys have given me material wise, I've been able to weave, into the fabric of the story. So I think everything is coming into plan, into place really well. Okay, let's wrap it up. Closing words. Anybody like thoughts? Like going well. Like I said, I think we're like 16 episodes in, something like that.
Yes.
It must be something close.
Yeah, and so like literally, that's a good amount of content, and I'm really enjoying it. Granted, some of it is combat, and some of it is touchy feely crap, and but all in all, like this is what D&D is supposed to be.
Yeah, like I just love spending time with my friends around the table.
Yeah.
We're just making stories.
Yeah,
It's what I've been doing since high school with people. Just sit around, we make a story, we have fun. Sometimes the story gets a little weird. Sometimes it gets a little sad.
Yeah, we hear about your weird stories now.
Yeah. But no, I wouldn't rather. I'd rather be here with you guys than many other places most of the time.
Absolutely, I agree. Yeah, Rhys, thoughts?
What was that?
That was probably Penny. She rolled over.
I mean, I did joke about her being a fat cat.
She's got some weight to her, But Rhys, anything else? Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't say anything. There was the whole.
Oh,
cat.
fair enough.
I mean, I don't think that counts as my final.
Holy crap! What was that? That's all you had to say.
No.
Okay. What's your thoughts, Rhys?
I mean, this has just been a really enjoyable way of, spending my time, and it's just been a really enjoyable, means of just.
Yeah.
I don't know, just being with you all.
Well, the tagline "You're always welcome to the table" isn't just a tagline. Like when I say that, I sincerely mean it. Whether it's gaming at Dragon's Den or gaming at the cons or gaming at the 24 or gaming here at in the studio, I value my time, and I value my time a lot. Whether it's time with friends or family, but at the top of that list is right here.
Yep.
Yeah. Trevor?
It's been gaming with this guy for a long time, and it is nice that he lets us kind of advance our characters at our own pace. Because I remember your campaign in PA where it took us a year before we leveled.
Wasn't that during COVID?
No.
That was just scheduling conflicts.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
There you go. That's what I meant.
That's what it was. But no, in all honesty, yeah, it's great playing D&D with your friends.
Yeah.
And when you play with people where, you can tell a story and you can trust the other people at the table to like you say, pick it up, roll with it, run with it.
Yeah.
And there's that little, perk in the back of my head when I watch myself on YouTube too. That's kind of cool.
It takes time. It takes time to get familiar, to get comfortable with yourself on television.
Yeah.
Like
but,
it was it's not good at the beginning.
But no, you've been doing an amazing job with adjusting videos and doing stuff on there too. So
Well, I'm trying to put us in the best light
I
possible.
give you a lot of credit for that too, and you guys love
I know you have a lot to work with.
Except the pretty boy.
No, I was more so going the other way. It's like, let's do some editing. We'll just squish Adam a bit so he doesn't look so big.
Yeah. Fix the lighting. Yeah. But no, it's been wonderful. Like I said, we're 5 months in, 5 chapters in by the time this airs, and it's wonderful. The Arcane Campaign is a big part of the Arcane table, amongst all the other segments and whatnot. But this is what gaming should be. A good story, some crazy ass D20s, and just sitting around the table with good friends. Perfect. Thank you, Rhys. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Trevor. It's been a blast. We're not even close to being halfway done. Hopefully. And for you, everybody watching, thank you kindly. The hours watched and the subscribers and all that stuff is growing weekly. We appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And remember, once again, you're always welcome at the table. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Take care.